Welcome to the Playmakers Podcast.
Covering everything from youth sports to national sports in and around upstate New York. Let's go!
Welcome back. This is week 2 of the Playmakers Podcast with myself, Chuck, and my main man, DB. We've been watching a lot of games this week in Section 5. A lot of great talent out there. We got some really good interviews, post-game interviews with East after their showdown with Wilson, one of the most epic games of the year. We also have, we were at the Bishop Kearney Cancer, BK vs. Cancer tournament. We have post interviews from the guys over at Leadership, and we're also a little bit later going to have the guys from Uprep, who are we consider the #1 team in Section 5. We got them in-house today. We're going to have an interview with them in a little while. Right now, we want you to check out some highlights of this week's games. Some great dunks out there. We'll be right back.
No, clear. Those some crazy highlights, man.
Crazy highlights.
To be able to see it live, man, that is something different.
It is very different.
But let's talk about this Aquinas McQuaid game. You know,
Rivalry game.
I mean, everybody knew what it was going to be about. Them guys, it's always a good show when them guys face each other, whether it's football, basketball, any sport.
Packed house.
They go hard. You got McQuaid, defending champions.
Two-time defending champions. You got Aquinas, who's trying to redefine himself when it comes to basketball. They really are.
They got Coach McCauley, who, they've been struggling the last couple of years. They have gotten better each year, but I like what I see from them this year.
Yeah, I think what we were talking about beforehand, we were talking about this team has some really good young kids coming together.
Yes.
You can see them growing as the season goes on already.
What I like about them is they got the kid West, man, to transfer in. They got Justin Johnson, and they are really defining the program. They are adding what Aquinas has missed for so long. Some guys to be a dog, some guys to be out there ready to fight. Them boys, I can take them boys in the jungle with me, and I believe we'll come out and they're gonna fight right along with me. Those are the type of guys you need to when your program is trying to redefine the grind. Like when they trying to put themselves back where Aquinas has always been, which is
winning. Always. And I think getting back Stephen Mahar is a big deal.
Yes.
He reminds me a lot of what Connor Zamira meant to McQuaid in the past 2 championship years. Division I tight ends, but they're basketball players with great size at 6'6", 6'7" size. He is an incredible athlete, just an incredible overall athlete.
Absolutely.
When he's on the court, he's not even in what I would consider true basketball shape yet. but you can already tell he's a game changer.
Tough
He's
guy.
a real player.
Tough
Yes.
guy. Like Connor was a tough guy.
Yes.
Like the little things, the leadership. Like that's what them guys bring. Another guy that they're gonna fight with you.
Yes.
With great defense. With those tough guys, and West, him and Johnson, man, they really are ballers. And with them sharpshooters,
With
man,
his shooters,
them,
they
man,
got a
that
couple
can-
real shooters.
that can hang around the wing, and hey, if them boys got to kick it out, 9 out of 10 times it's going in.
Yeah, and the thing in the game, Aquinas won the game. It was a very tough game. Went down to the last minute.
Yes.
It was going back and forth. I mean, it was great to see even the Aquinas spirit was different. I haven't
Yes.
seen the student section like
In a
that in a
while.
long time.
Yes.
They were going back and forth with McQuaid. It just led for a great, that's what high school basketball is to
Absolutely.
me. But you can definitely tell at the end of the game, you can tell that they're becoming a better team.
Absolutely.
Because they played together as a team and they out-rebounded McQuaid. And I think that was the whole difference to the game, is they out-rebounded McQuaid and out-defensed him.
I mean, absolutely, man. Like, listen, everything you said 100% correct. It was a good game. It's what how a rivalry game should look.
Absolutely.
It should be back and forth. The fans should be into it. The student section going at it. I had a ball. I enjoyed it. Shout out to Coach McCauley and the rest of the Aquinas B-ball team. You guys they looking good.
And even in the loss, McQuaid was shooting. I mean, Kobe and JT were hitting some big threes, a couple nice dunks. I can't wait for part 2 later on in the year at McQuaid.
At the end of the day, the season is still young.
Yeah.
With a loss, I think that's the best McQuaid has played with. With JT and with Kobe, they played real good. They played
Yes,
off
absolutely.
each other. Nothing was forced. It was a really good game. I think McQuaid just missing that third piece for them. Just
Yeah.
that third other player to step up for him.
That rebounding piece,
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
is really big
I mean,
for him.
JT and Kobe, good job. Like I said, I like the way you guys played this past weekend.
I got to say, though, the plays of that game, though, Ruben Daniels, we see you, because them 2 blocks tore the house down.
Yeah, and then I gotta go to with Aquinas, the kid Gabe, man. Gabe
Oh.
played great. Like it's the intangibles.
Yep.
Hard-nosed defense. When he needed buckets, he got the buckets. When he just making the right play. The kid did good.
Yep.
The freshman, Michael, he came in, did what he's supposed to do. The little things. He had 2 points, but he played smart in a house like that. A rivalry game for a
Big
freshman.
stage.
That's
Big
a
stage to step into.
Boxed out, had some good assists, played great defense. I mean, what more can you ask? Everybody played a pivotal part in that victory. I gotta shout out the Victor Blue Devils basketball team. They are one of the remaining undefeated teams. They are 6-0. They're doing it with a bunch of football players who are playing smart. They're playing team basketball. They are holding opponents under 60 points. They play together.
Yep.
I gotta shout them out. Good job, you guys. Keep grinding.
Nice to see Victor back on the scene.
Oh yeah. They play T-ball.
Gotta
too.
get out to see a game real soon. I want to see
Absolutely.
the big guy play. I
Absolutely.
like seeing the big guy play.
Shout out to their coach Tyler Roberts, man. He's doing a great job with that. Nobody, I don't think anybody thought that Victor would be
Saw it coming like that.
Where they at right now. Tajay Hill, man, the Hill Cadets. He's one of our guys. We think is
one of the
definitely a playmaker.
top two player in Section 5, and
Yep.
his future is limitless.
They knocked off Dylan Scott and that good Penfield team for their first loss. We also saw East Ridge knock off the defending champions Pittsburgh Minden.
Yeah.
Great game. The atmosphere was great. And that was Tony's first time beating Minden.
Yeah.
That was the first time beating Minden. So that was a great game as well. It was a lot of good games. A lot of games went down to the wire. A lot of teams that were undefeated lost. Hey,
We like that East Ridge
Absolutely.
team. They're a tough, gritty team. I think they're really gonna go places.
Now, another great game. East versus Wilson. Chuck, let's talk about it.
I honestly think this was the best game I've seen all year long. I mean, the Aquinas McQuaid game was great, but this game had like an old school feel back in the days of like Franklin East, like those type matchups. It was back and forth the whole game, and like I think the game, what people might not understand, it's like bigger for the city than it is anything, because the gym was packed.
Yes.
everyone was into it. Both student bodies were into it. The East was down on one side, Wilson was on the other side. They was really cheering. Everyone was in the game. There was highlights. You're gonna see them all, but there was no issues. It's important for the city schools that I think we get a very bad rap in the city schools, and everyone showed that there's great basketball in the city of Rochester, and you don't have to be afraid to come out to a game. That there was people from everywhere who came out to that game, and they walked away saying, "That's crazy!" Like that game was just unbelievable.
Speaking of that, like you said, the game was huge for the city. It was big for the city of Rochester. Just showed that two powerhouses come together, play a great game in a packed house, and have no issues at all. I mean, and it's not surprising, but the boys were dogs on the court.
Oh.
Like, when I mean they were dogs, they were going at each other. And one thing that I liked was after the game, most of the boys switched jerseys, held up each other's jersey. That shows sportsmanship. They were just dogs trying to kill each other.
These are all kids that played during the summer.
Yep.
They out there playing hard, but in the game they switching jerseys, taking pictures. It's just you can't put into words just how good of a look it is for the city.
And that is what sports is all about. Competing against your boys, your friends, your opponents. You know, trying to outwork them, trying to go out there and dominate them. But at the end of the game, when it's all over, now we can go back to being boys. I like that.
Exactly.
Only thing we missing, I talked about it a lot on social media, bringing the cheerleaders back. That's another dynamic of the game. I like when the cheerleaders battling, you got the student sections battling, you got the boys in the court battling. Yo, we need them. It all makes for fun. We just showed y'all what can happen. We can do it.
And speaking of that, I think the dunk of the year would have been Justice on the baseline, the two-hander, on the whole momentum of the game switch, because BJ almost caught a body on the other end. Came back, ball got swung to Justice, he went baseline. The highlight's been up there, two-handed dunk. It kind of swung the momentum of the game. And to feel that, even though you could say that's not the big stage, that place was a big stage because you were under the microscope there because everyone was looking at everything.
So
Coach Barley, you're showing that you're doing a great job, but Wilson, a lot of people didn't even have you in there as being one of the top teams. I think you're proving to everyone you're one of the most dangerous teams out there in Section 5 right now.
Dynamic game, man. You had East versus West, like so many dynamics. The coaches was in their bag. The coaches was coaching their behinds off. It was a great game. And then I also seen a lot of players. You know, we know high energy. I think he KG, Zach. We knew what he was gonna bring. We knew what BJ was gonna bring. But it was the other guys who stepped up.
Yeah.
The Christopher Wilson,
Oh.
the Barley brothers that stepped up and they performed under that light. And they made it the game it was.
They came up. Shout out to number 11 from East. I can't think of your name right now, but you played a big part in that game. So shout out to number 11. So we're speaking with that. There were some super sophomores in the game. Christian over on the Wilson side, and then you also had Justice and Mr. Barley, as I refer him to. I don't refer to Daryl anymore. I refer to Mr. Barley. So we're gonna shoot you to an interview that we did post game with him right now.
Yeah, that sophomore class is gonna be real. We're gonna talk about that, you know, as we said.
Oh yes,
in
yes.
the later podcast. Hey, that wraps up this segment.
Yep.
Chuck, my man.
So we're gonna shoot to the interview right now.
Yep.
We'll be right back.
Playmaker podcast, we working.
Here we are at the Wilson East game at Wilson High. I have the two outstanding sophomores right here who had amazing games. Mr. Justice, Mr. Barley, the real Mr. Barley. You're bigger than all of your family right now. Justice, tough game, tough surrounding. What do you think? This was obviously probably the best game I've seen so far in Section 5. How are you feeling out there?
At first, I had a rough start, then the second half, Coach had talked to me, and I came out strong.
I see you took a hard hit in the head on a rebound there. It looked like it threw you off, but playing through that shows a lot right there. That shows a lot of heart.
Yeah, Coach said I had to play through it and keep on attacking the rim. And that's what I did.
And you might have one of the best dunks of the year. The people are going to be seeing it on the podcast. Mr. Barley, I gotta say, seeing from where you've been the past couple of years to how much you've improved this year and how much you were really the composure person out on the floor tonight. What do you feel has been the difference that's made you grow to have that composure?
Well, like last year I was just like a spot shooter. then I had to become a point guard. So I just want to get my team involved, and get myself involved as well.
Absolutely, true leadership. So be looking forward. We're going to have an in-house interview with these guys in a couple weeks, along with Zach. Congratulations, East. Big win. You guys have a great night.
Welcome back, Playmakers Podcast. We are going to talk about the boys from Uprep versus the East team out of Buffalo, New York. It was a good game. It was a close game at first.
Very close game at first.
You know, the Uprep boys, they came together and they played Uprep basketball.
You could tell Coach gave them a speech at halftime. He was like, we're not even going to let this go any further.
We had Melvin who had, 30 points with 3 monsters, probably more dunks, which reminded me of a guy back that played for us here named Kamai Blue. I remember at the Blue Cross Arena, he played for us here. He caught 3 crazy dunks. Them kind of crowd gave him a plaque. I never seen nothing like that.
Yeah.
But you know, Melvin did what he do. You had Brother Ross with 30.
Yeah.
And you had Brother Nas with 20.
I think 20. They both
Melvin
had
20. Had 30 and Nas and Keyshawn had 20.
Yep.
Man, that's 7 points between 3 players.
It was incredible. And they play a 5-guard system where they don't really have a big man, and they're making it work for them. They're really, this is a work in progress, and Coach is doing a great job over there. He's really got these kids playing. But from when I first seen them, from the first game to where they are now, you can tell the defensive. They're all athletes over there. But together with the 2 kids, number 4 and number 5, coming off the bench, they're
some more guards,
quick guards, and they're like little gnats. They're just on you for no reason. Like you could tell that they were aggravating the team from Buffalo because they were just in their face the whole time. And they're young kids again, and to see these young kids step up, it's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. Like I said, I love Coach Stewart, man. His energy. You can tell he's out there for his boys. His boys play for them.
Yep.
And it's just a fun and exciting team to watch, man. I'm out there trying to get some highlights. Every time before I pull my phone out, something else is happening. So when you want to Uprep East leadership games, leave your phone, let it roll.
Let it roll.
Just let it roll.
Because you never know what's going to happen. You might get a buzzer beater right before half.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah. And then the crazy thing is, I believe Uprep can still be better. I feel
Without
like
question.
all their players still haven't reached their potential. They can be so much more efficient once they gel together and learn each other game even more. Oh man, it's gonna be scary.
Yeah, you're talking about a team with 5 stars that if they went to if they were playing on any other team in Section 5, out of the starting 5, all of them would be, if not one of the top players on their team.
Absolutely.
And they're finding a way to it's hard to make 5 kids buy into we're gonna be a team. You see, even on the college level, they have a hard time making these big-time players come in and gel and work together. Right now, they're making it work. So we're excited to see them go further with this. And with that being said, we got them in-house. Let's set them up for the interview, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to the Players Podcast. You know we're out here working, so we had to make sure to get the gentlemen who are on the team right now, who we consider the best team in Section 5. They're looking at capturing the AA title later on in the year, but right now they're proving a point. We just came for their game yesterday versus the team from Buffalo. These guys did a great job. It looked tough in the first half. You guys ran away with it. But before we get started here, we'd like everyone to introduce yourselves to the people out there, make them know who you are. Starting with you.
I'm guard Melvin Johnson Jr. from Uprep. Guard Isaiah Folks from Uprep. Guard Brandon Marjorie from Uprep.
That's great. Senior, sophomore. And we're going to get to BJ in a minute. There's a reason why we definitely wanted to have him on. We want to highlight the sophomore class. We got some great sophomores out there in Section 5 right now. We think it's important that they really get to shine from early out. Melvin, what did you think about yesterday's game? You guys really came together in the second half. It seemed like you amped up the defense. You guys really feed off your defensive. Whenever you guys are clicking on defense, it leads out to those easy baskets. Is that something that coaches stress to you during practices?
Yes. Our little ones came off the bench. James Matthews and Devin Green, they sparked the defense for us, the one that make us win that game last night.
That's great. Young kids again coming in, stepping up. You're a team full of talent. Isaiah, how do you feel like you balance that? How are you guys finding that balance, that chemistry between each other?
So back to what you said earlier about defense. Coach just tells us if we play defense hard enough, everything will come together. We don't really have to worry about what the other team does as long as we play our game and we play it to the best that we can.
BJ, coming into this as a sophomore, this is your first year. How have you found the transition coming to the guys? Are you really catching the vibe with them? You feeling the chemistry? Because it's starting to show up there that you guys are really playing together and really starting to click.
Yeah. Out there, I trust all of them. That's what I do, is trust them.
That's very important. Very important. BB, you wanna?
Yeah, you guys have been doing great. I mean, you had some great tough games this season. You guys perform when you're on the stage. That's what it's all about. When you're on that biggest platform, who's gonna perform? A lot of guys can't do that. When they see the crowd, when they even let's go. You got the big house, the Blue Cross. Some people shut down. You guys have performed on the biggest stage against. I mean, it's like the tougher the competition, the better you guys play. And I, want to commend you guys for that. But I want to more speak about, this summer. And I'm gonna start with Nas, because Nas, you were originally already at Uprep. You and Ross, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you guys are both transfers. You guys both led y'all teams. I mean, you averaged 22, you averaged about 18, 20 last year for a thing. Y'all both were leaders on your team to come into a new program. And then for Uprep and the guys like Nas and Ross and the rest of the fellas to accept you guys. Nas, how do you feel about that?
In the summer, Coach Stewart was talking to me about bringing in some new talent, and we had just lost our star player, Jakai. So it was like either I sacrifice myself and have good stats and don't bring these two in, or we try to go get the AA championship. So I told Coach that I'm all for it, and let's bring them in.
Keyword you said is sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice. All you guys sacrifice something for a greater goal, which is to hopefully, hold that banner up, which is good. You guys all play together, and I still feel like you guys haven't gelled yet. I still feel like Section 5 haven't seen the best of either one of you guys. I know what each one of you guys can do. Y'all all bring something different to the table, and just watch you guys play like BJ. I watched you grow. This guy was actually my quarterback at the modified level. I don't know if you play football, huh? But and BJ, to me, he's been the most unselfish. I mean, with you guys, as far as he's giving the ball up, he's sacrificing on defense. He's making sure, like he said, he trusts them. You can tell by the way he's letting all them guys get off. I mean, going from averaging 22 points a game, that's a big step. To a life, okay, I'm gonna take the backseat and let these guys work. I mean, that shows your growth, and that shows for these guys to say that they even trust you as the sophomore of the unit. They trust you to go out there and lead it. I felt like you guys, Melvin, last year you were great, and I just see it, the growth. Nas with you, the growth, and I credit it all to the summers you guys had. What do you guys think made you guys take that next step? Now I know I'm good, but what can I do to get better for this game? Let's start with you, Melvin.
The thing that made me become where I'm at right now is all the negativity that pushes me to be the best that I can be.
Nas?
Okay, so last year I had a good season. I could have been better, and I told myself that for me to play better, I have to be with my teammates, and we got to all come together, and we're going to work hard. And me and my team are going to work hard. We're just going to do our thing this year.
Okay, BJ? What do you think? What pushed you? What got you better this summer? So you played in the circuit, right? You played with Coach McCauley?
Yeah, McCauley.
Okay.
Just playing against tough teams. I remember John McCauley was like, the circuit, you're not going to have so many points out.
Right.
The games are retarded.
Right.
You're like, my defense always win games. I started playing defense and we started winning circuits.
Absolutely.
So, just to jump in, I'm going to show some over the summer. Zed Iglesias camp. And I've come out, I've said it, we both said it. We all think Melvin is the #1 player in Section 5. There's a lot of talk between him and Tajay. It's always gone back and forth. But I saw something during the summer in the camp. And when you're not playing for notoriety, but you just want to win, I seen this man drop an incredible shot, win the game, walk off, humble as can be. Didn't hype up on anyone, doesn't try and push himself out there. You might have some negative things people say, but trust me, the negative stuff is down here. The positive stuff is way up here. That's what you guys have to remember. Never take the small chatter. It means nothing. You guys are going for a greater goal. You're going for a championship. You're playing for yourself. You're playing for your school, but you're also playing for your future because you guys have a very bright future. All three of you. So never forget that.
You know, lastly, Coach Stewart. I mean,
yes.
Me personally, that's the type of coach I would like to play for. He's up and down the sideline. He's slapping you guys up when you're doing good. He's only when you're doing bad. I seen the opponent cross somebody, one of the players on your team. He got like, and to see a coach do that, like, I love it. Like, even at the Blue Cross, when I see them guys laughing, he's slapping everybody up. He's just as hyped as you guys. How does that make you guys feel?
I love Coach Stewart. He's crazy. He brings energy, and
Absolutely.
some games where we're just out of it and we're lazy, he'll be the guy that gets us going. And he's not even a player, so it helps when you have a coach like that because he'll keep you focused, but he'll also get you right, and you know that you got to pick it up.
Absolutely. Delbert?
Coach Stewart, to me, he's like Coach Carter to me.
Oh, yeah.
He pushes me, he check up on me. He's just like a good coach that I would like to have in the future for my whole basketball career.
Coach Stewart's a great guy. Like, not only on the basketball court, he makes sure the school work too. He makes sure that, because if you can't go nowhere if you got no grades.
That's a fact.
So he makes sure before we hit the basketball court, he makes sure we hit school. And that's what I like about him.
Absolutely. Do you guys pick his brain? Yeah, I know Coach Stewart was that guy.
Yeah.
He played like
we pick his brain all the time. We learn some interesting things, such as him going for like #1 scorer in the nation in college and stuff like that, and playing professional basketball. So just stuff like that, and it helps us build a bond and just get our chemistry overall as a team, and with the coach individually, just gets it all up and gets it better.
Absolutely. Well, DB and Chuck here with Playmakers Podcast with the Uprep Griffins signing off. Playmaker Podcast. We working.
We working.
Okay, we're back. That was a great interview. The boys, they spoke a lot of truth. You can tell in the interview that they believe in each other.
Yeah, they really do. And just being with them, we were here with them for a while beforehand. They might have seen the little tensed up, but these kids are really good kids. They're really well grounded.
Yes.
I had conversations with all of them.
Yes.
Talking to Mr. Folks about what he plans on doing. He has a whole plan in order. Like, this is what you like to hear from these kids. We're all about the kids. We want to see these kids. It's great to play here in Rochester, but we want to see them on the bigger level. We want to see them get a college education and have a chance at really succeeding and then being able to bring that back to the community. We're getting ready to wrap up the podcast, but something that I talked to a couple parents out of the Christmas tournament at BK, and it was a couple fathers, and they're there watching their kids. And they said something that really hit home with me, because personally for me, it really hit home is a lot of us didn't have our fathers at games. A lot of us didn't have our fathers around us like that. When you see like Melvin there, you see Boone there all the time. He's got a great basketball mom, but there's something to be said about having the basketball dads there.
Absolutely.
It's making a difference, man. And I think enough times people try and portray, especially the city teams, like, oh, the dads aren't there. That's a false narrative. That's not true. There are a lot of very good fathers out there, and to all the fathers out there and to all the mothers, you got to keep working too, because you're the real difference makers in these kids' lives.
Well, Chuck, we have the break coming up.
Yep.
Not so much basketball being played, but there are a few games before we head back. We out here.
Check the schedule.
We working. As you know the saying for Playmakers Podcast.
We working for real.
And we'll get back to you guys.
Merry Christmas to everyone.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you guys.
Yes, sir.
Same to you, my man.
Same to you, DB.
Yes,
off
sir.
to a great start.
Yes, sir.
We working.
Thank you for listening to the Playmakers Podcast, and stay on the lookout for future episodes. And be sure to like and follow the Playmakers Podcast on Facebook.